Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Brummet Media Group channel here on YouTube. It's great to have you here today. You'll notice that we have a ton of videos now available for you, numerous playlists, growing playlists, lots of information, and I'm really hoping that you'll scroll through and find all of the great links and information on the About page and in the description for each and every video. Be sure to subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff. It means a great deal to us. And I do a little emotional dance every time I see one of those positive activities, whether it's your feedback, your comments, your emails to me, your messages on social networking sites, or whether it's that thumbs up or that subscription. I really appreciate it. It's no cost to you at all. Takes only a second of your time, means a great deal to me. Now, today I'm going to be answering a question from Gina, who asks me if I aim for a certain set of words or pages per day when it comes to our writing career, my writing career. Gina, I really appreciate this question. I find that setting a goal, like a certain number of words or a certain number of pages per week or per day, really only sets myself up for failure, for writing sloppy, for having disjointed writing. If I don't meet that goal, I'm going to end up feeling guilty. My self criticism just goes right through the roof. That inner judge has a lot to say to me. Rather than doing that, I'm going to focus on the project at hand, just one step at a time. I'm going to work my way through. I'm going to not worry so much about a measurement of uh, production, word count, any of that I'm getting. As long as I'm making forward movement on my project, then I'm happy. Obviously, I'm working with a deadline. That's a little bit of a different story. I'm going to be focusing on that deadline. I'm going to follow through and make sure I get that article or whatever submitted in time long before, days before it's due, because that's how I work. That's my personal work ethic. But again, just writing in general, as long as I'm making forward movement, I'm going to be happy. Now, that said, Dave and I do write a 5-year business plan. And then we use that business plan to create an annual action plan, starting with, what's a priority, working down through what we hope to accomplish throughout that year, what we're going to do first, sort of a step-by-step action plan. And that is a basic guide, a basic map that helps us follow our goals and reach our goals for that year. It helps us attack each project tenaciously, stubbornly, working through each project, getting it done, and moving on to the next thing. We're going to have meetings, sometimes weekly, sometimes monthly, depending on what our schedule is. But we're going to have those meetings and we're going to discuss where each of us are at. What is Dave doing? What am I doing? What are his issues? What are my issues? Can he help take on something to ease the pressure that I'm feeling? Can I help him behind the scenes in some sort of supportive way? If there's an item in this particular project that Dave needs to complete for me in order for that project to get to move on to the next stage, or maybe there's something he needs from me to move on to the next stage. So we talk about that and we'll find out where we are, what we can do to support one another. Now, when it comes to writing creatively, I'm just going to purge. I'm going to throw up all these words, all of these thoughts on that particular topic on that page. I'm not going to worry about format. I'm not worrying about flow. I'm not worrying about whether it's a complete sentence. I'm not worried about whether it's a paragraph that even fits properly. It doesn't matter. At this point, I'm just throwing the data onto the page. Then I'm going to go in and start tweaking it, maneuvering it, making it into something, polishing it into that gem prior to that deadline, and making sure it's submitted prior to that deadline. So that's more how I work. I find that if I have that deadline there to pressure me to get it done, I simply just clear my schedule and I get it done. And then I bring everything that I had set aside back into my schedule and I start working it again. I don't feel like uh, creatively assigning myself, hey, I'm going to do 10,000 words this week. Let's just say that that's the goal I've set for myself. Or I'm going to do 50 pages this week. That's my goal. I'm going to do 50 pages. I find that 25 of those pages is garbage. It's crap. It ends up getting edited out, scrapped away. So, was that a constructive use of my time? So, yes, I've purged out those words. Yes, I've made that mark. I've hit that goal. But was it an effective use of my time? Again, is half of that going to be scrapped out or three-quarters of that going to be scrapped out because I'm not going to end up using it on the final product? So um, I think if we don't meet that goal, we end up beating ourselves up. And writing being an art, we have to feel it. Sometimes we have to grow into the writing that we're working at hand. We have to develop the skills. We have to gain the experiences. We have to do the research. We have to have the conversations. It's not always just a matter of sitting down and going, oh, I'm going to create this world and this story, and boom, it's out there. We're often doing a lot of behind the scenes developments before the words even get put on the page. So as long as you're making forward movement on the project, dude, you're doing good. You're making headway. That's all good. Gold star, gold buzzer for that. That's what I aim for. Positive, constructive, forward movement on the project. That's my goal. I hope that that answers your question, Gina. Of course, as I've said a couple times, um, there are, exceptions to that. If I'm working on a deadline, I'm going to be focusing on that project and I'm going to get that deadline done. Sometimes speaking with someone will help me overcome some areas where I'm having blockages, where I can't seem to get past, where I see a challenge or an obstacle. So I'll speak about it with someone, or I'll do a little research, have those conversations, do that research, and then I move forward with that project. I don't set myself up to fail. It's always about moving forward in a positive and constructive way. I hope that answers your question, Gina. Thanks again for submitting it to us. Gina from France, all the way from France. Great to see you here today.